Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hey, oh, am I up there? Where am I at? Oh, I'm over here. Why am I there? I am right here. How's that, guys? Well, welcome to the Tuesday night edition of Into the Night with me, your Sean Kelly. How is everyone tonight? Hey, Beryl, Miss Cindy Mitch, good to see you. Oh, it's a good day. It's a good day today. A lot of things happening. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Mark, good to see you. And I don't know. It was just a pretty good day, you know. And kind of happy it was a good day. So all in all, today was a good day. But still a little bit chilly here. Donna, good to see you. Welcome. And before I go on, I just want to say thank you to UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And don't forget, right after my show tonight, you got the Gateway Podcast with my dear friend C.L. Thomas. And her guest tonight is Nancy Spurlock. Yes, that's her name. You know, hello, Sarah Perry. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. But I don't know. It's going to be a great day, show tonight. Sunday, we got into talking about astral projection, astral traveling. You know, when you leave your body. Well, I don't know, because a lot of people like the idea, well, why do a show on astral, projection? And I said, no. I'm not. And I said, what the hell? I'll surprise you tonight. A show. No. Hey, Donna. Dan, next door. Baby, what's up, Dan? Beard. Thank you, Dan. And that's what we're going to talk about. And I was thinking, you know, starting the show, where the origins came from on the astral planet. And so I did a little bit of research. Of course, I got my favorite AI, Google AI, whatever. Well, it looks like the internet's gone crazy because I guess I'm going in and out. So just bear with me at the show on the road here. Well, I'm just like stunned. Got music back. You know, and so eventually there's going to be some more music coming on when people download their things. Hey, Gary, good to see you. Did you like the news today? If everybody doesn't know, Mike Tomlin, the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he stepped down tonight. So today, so he's no longer the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I did a lot of astral traveling, a lot of times. In fact, I really enjoy doing it. But what's Michelle say? 38 today, clear skies. Took my dog to the doggy park. He's learning to socialize. That's awesome, Michelle. But I do it, and sometimes I try to astral, but it seems like, it just seems like if you try hard at doing something, okay, it just does not work the way you want it to work. And usually, um, but but mine usually happen, when I don't think about it and I just go to sleep and I get out of my body. It's a weird feeling, especially coming in. Everyone says that they come in nice and soft. Not me, man. I come in hard. I really do. It's like I jump out of my bed, it's like boom, I hit my body, go back into my body again. I'm like, ba-boom, ba-boom, you know. No, he didn't get fired, Gary. No, he stepped down, which I think as a man for doing that. But so as I was thinking about this astral projection or astral traveling, everybody talks about it, but no one ever talks about the origins of astral traveling. So out on a whim, I Googled the origins of astral projection or astral traveling. So that's what we're going to do. And of course, you guys know that I use my AI from Google. And so these are a lot of, what, Google gave for me. So I'm going to start it. All right. Let me see. Okay. All right. Here we go. Astral projections' roots are ancient, appearing in various spiritual traditions like Hinduism, ancient Egypt, and shamanism, describing soul journeys beyond the physical body. The specific term and modern framework, however, emerged in the 19th century. The Theosophy movement, popularized by figures like Helena Blavatsky, who described an astral body as a vehicle for consciousness, while ancient cultures described similar out-of-body experiences for guidance and afterlife understanding. Theosophy codified it as a practice of conscious travel through subtle planes, influencing later esoteric groups and modern New Age beliefs. Oh, hey, Joni, good to see you. Joni, how's Patrick doing? Patrick's doing okay. He's feeling a lot better. He's doing a lot better. In fact, he goes back to work tomorrow, which is great for him. But thank you for asking. But, so astral projection goes back a long time. Now, me being like 63 years old and been in the metaphysical world, in the spiritual world for a very long time, no one ever talked about the roots. No one ever talked about the origins. And I find it pretty interesting that it just wasn't us. But my question is, and maybe if anybody out there who knows this, okay, if they can answer it, I just read it happened in the 19th century here, but who really brought it on? Was it back in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s? Excuse me, just getting myself straightened up here. That's what I'd like to know. Where did it come from? Well, we know where it came from. I'm sorry. But I don't know. Maybe what happened 30, 40 years ago. I don't know. But that's my question. Why did astral traveling or out of body experiences is such a big topic now? I guess it's something to talk about because, being around the spiritual field for a very long time, okay, I guess everything gets old after a while. But being around for a long time, no one ever talked about it. And I used to do, I used to have OBEs, out of body experiences, when I was young. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I was young, and for a long time as I grew up, I got them in my teenage years, I got them in my early 20s, early 30s, but I didn't know what the hell was going on. I thought I was weird. It was scary, yeah, I'll admit, it was scary. But I never could figure out why I did it and why it happened. And I'll be honest with you, when I first started, like realizing that I was going out of my body in my early 20s, I was scared to go to bed. I was afraid to go to sleep because I didn't know if I was going to go out again. Now, when I did my out of body experiences, okay, I didn't go too far. And people were saying, well, let yourself go out there, go to the different, planes and stuff like that. But I didn't want to do it because I got scared. I was nervous about it. So I just hung around close. But I remember one time I did one when I lived in an apartment and I had one. And what was scary as hell, okay, what was scary as hell was that I saw different spirits in my apartment, at least three or four of them. And everything was in black and white. It was not in color, okay? But I saw these spirits standing around looking at me. And then I saw like some spirit faces in my wall. It blew me away. And I will tell you, I got really, really scared. But to see my apartment from an out of body or astral, whatever you want to call it was a really creepy feeling. Michelle says, I am not ready yet. Not sure of myself, working on my fears. That's a good thing, Michelle. But you know what? You'll understand. You'll know when you're ready. Hey, Heidi. Hello, Sean, dearest, bestest friend in the whole entire world. I'm late. That's okay. So that is the truth. Dearest, bestest friend in the whole entire world. Just dropped Audrey off and now checking out at the store. Okay, Heidi, don't worry. I'm glad you're safe. Tell Audrey I said hello. But, and after that little OBE, I had seen all these spirits um, in my out of body place. It just like it was. You're welcome, Heidi. It was something different. Yeah, someday you'll experience that, Michelle. Honestly, um, and you know what's going to happen, Michelle, when it happens to you. You will never know. You'd be surprised because you weren't ready for it. But as we move on, the ancient and tradition roots of astral or OBs, Hinduism and yoga, concepts of the soul, journeying, or the subtle body Oh wow. The Sakshama Sharira traveling are deeply embedded in yogic philosophy, predating modern terms. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. Uh, Kevin says, hi, all. OB can be as simple as seeing a deer and fog in your backyard and physically going outside to see, and it's the same scene. Or as far out as traveling to the other realms, yes. Ancient Egypt, belief in the soul's ability to travel in the afterlife, parentheses, Ba and Ka, provided a cultural context for such ideas. Ancient Greece and Rome, Neoplatonists like Proclus discussed subtle bodies between the physical and the divine, influencing later mystical thoughts. And shamanism. Shamanism historically used altered states for spiritual travel, resource and finding and healing. Now, with the shamans, I have my friend Mr. Yazzie, who is like his show is on Sunday nights. It's called Don't Whistle at Night. And one time I'm going to have somebody, have him on or have somebody that he knows, and we'll talk about shamanism, which I think would be great. But if I'm not mistaken, they used a peyote, that hallucinating drug, to take them on shamanic journeys. Michelle said, it's like I walked the plank and afraid to jump off. You'll get there, Michelle. You'll definitely get there. Absolutely. Medieval and early modern development. Islamic mythicism. Thinkers like, I can't pronounce these names, discussed astral worlds influencing European thought. Medieval Europe, Dante's Divine Comedy described journeys through celestial spheres, and alchemists explored the astral realm. That's cute, Michelle. And the Enlightenment era. Figures like Swedenborg reported details at OBEs bringing concepts of spiritual travel to wider attention. Heidi says, have to say facing your fears is empowering. Of course it is. Kurt, holy shit, you in here? Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you for a while. Thought maybe you were up to something else. Who knows? Good to see you down here, Kurt. So it's it's not amazing. It's educating about how way back in the medieval times, way back. Where are we at here? Okay, the traditional roots of it with the yoga, the belief in the soul's ability to travel in the afterlife. That's ancient Egypt. Do you want to travel if you had the opportunity? Okay, if you had the opportunity, let me ask you, everybody, to travel to different planes, would you do it? If you had the opportunity to go do an OBE or an astral traveling, same thing. But OBEs is a lot more simpler and easier for me to think. Would you do it? Would you go to the other plane? Would you want to see what's out there? Or would you be afraid to go that far out? Now, people talk about the silver cord that is attached to you, or the golden cord that is attached to you. And people told me all about it. Kevin says, I have done it in dreams many times. That's cool. And that girl says, yep, anywhere but here. So let me ask you, Kevin and Vet, let me ask you, what would you be wanting to find? What would you want to find? What would you want to do out there? Would you want to come back? You could say, Joni says, depends on where. Well, I'm glad you love it here, Kevin. But I don't know if I have the balls to go way, way out there. I wouldn't be enjoying what I would be seeing because I would be afraid that I would not come back. Kurt says, you look great, by the way, buddy. I would like to see all the different places I could. I just always worry that I might not make my way back. But I've felt I've done it in my dreams. Uh, Vecro says, I would never want to come back, but always wake up. I guess it's not for you, Vecro, honestly. Maybe it's not for your time. I figure, okay, when I die, then I'll be able to explore all those planes. Hold on, let me put in my earplugs. Hold on. Okay. Everybody's talking in the background, so I had to put the earplugs in so they don't hear it, so y'all don't hear it. But I know when I die, my spirit, my soul leaves my body. You know what? I can go anywhere I want, and then I'll be able to explore all the planes, see what's out there. So 8:31. Okay. Now, theosophy and modern codification in the 19th century. Helena Blavatsky coined the term astral projection and developed the theosophical system with its 7 bodies, establishing the astral body as a key component for consciousness and travel. Joni says, if you don't come back, are you considered dead or in a coma? That's a good question, Joni. I don't know. Kevin Veckrell, Joni wants to know, if you don't come back, are you considered dead or in a coma? If anybody could answer that for Joni, I would truly appreciate it. And so, in 7 books, the Ospical Society further developed these ideas, linking them to Eastern traditions and making astral travel a central concept in Western occultism. So this Helen Blavatsky theosophy, started it in the 18th century, and eventually it went into the occult. And when things go into the occult, tarot readings, Ouija boards, etc., etc., etc. Okay, then it's a good place to put things. That's kind of weird. Throw them into the occult system. Now, the 20th century and beyond, early researchers J. Arthur Hill and Oliver Fox used out-of-body experience in the 1920s, linking it to psychic phenomena. Let me re-say that. Early researchers J. Arthur Hill and Oliver Fox used out-of-body experiences in the 1920s, linking it to psychic phenomena. Robert Monroe popularized OBEs in the 1970s with his books, making the experience accessible to a broad audience. Kevin says you have to look beyond the nutshell and spend more time there either physically or mentally to find your comfort places and people. And Beckrell says, in my case, I'd hope to be dead, not in a coma, because a coma would mean my meat suit would be kept alive. Meat suit. It's been a while since I heard that. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the CIA researched. They explored OBEs as a potential method for consciousness, enhancing, recognize them as altered states. And if I do believe the military at one time really got into the OBEs to see if use it as a military tactic. Pretty crazy, huh? But you know what? It is 8:35. We have some music, so I'm going to take a couple minute break. And you'll probably hear the same songs I played at the beginning. And so if you have to, go get a smoke, go to the bathroom, do what you got to do. And I will see you back in 2 minutes.
Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Into the Night, the Tuesday night edition with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, and for letting me to give you 2 shows a week, Sunday nights and Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget, the Gateway Podcast, my friend C.L. Thomas. The Gateway Podcast, she is on right after my show. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Heidi. And her guest is Nancy Spurlock. So after my show, please go over there and show CL some love, man. Show her some love. But there's a couple things that were written in the chat room. Scouse says my original name was Scouse. Still, YouTube changed it to handles only. So my handle was Boise, but changed it to the more familiar name in some live chats. Well, thank you, sir. And Beckrell says, well, put it this way. Need money to be born. Need money to live. Need money to survive. Need money to die. Funeral arrangements and all that jazz. There she is. There's CL. Oh, I'm glad you stopped in, hon. I was just giving you a shout out for your show tonight with your guest Nancy Spurlock. So I hope you have a great show, and don't forget, everybody, don't forget. Okay, after my show, go directly over to CL show. So we were talking in the first part about astral projections and where the origins come from. Now, there's a lot of origins that it came from. So I really don't have enough time to go back through them, okay? But if you can, if you want to learn the origins of astral projection, just see the rerun of my show and watch the first half. Kevin says, "Yep, it's a crooked system, but we do the best we can." Yes, it's true. So do you know? Do you know, everybody, that astral projection has rules? Yes, you got rules to astral project. Astral projection rules focus on deep relaxation, mental focus, and intentional separation from the body, involving finding a quiet space, clearing your mind, achieving the mind awake, body asleep state, and using visualization or techniques like the rope method to lift your astral self out, always maintaining a positive mindset and intending to return safely. Let me read that again. The rope method: lift your astral self out, always maintaining a positive mindset and intending to return safely. So I really wish I knew that a long time ago when I first started to do this, the OBEs. Kevin says, one rule is to mind your business. Don't just wander into others' houses unless invited. That's true. Oh my gosh, you're funny. So the preparation rules before you do your projection. Okay, the environment. Find a quiet, dark, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. It's kind of hard in the 21st century because no matter where you go, there ain't quiet. Even if you're in your own house, in your own room, you got your own meditation room, there's always noise. The mindset. Clear your mind of worries and distractions. Practice meditation, which is good. Okay. Kurt says, I always found the science behind hemi sync the brain very fascinating. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Kurt. But scientists will look at you like you're a dumbass when you talk this stuff. And that's the bad thing about, being in the spiritual world and spiritual field. You really can't talk to anybody else because they automatically think you're a nutcase and they just don't want to talk about it. Relaxation. Use deep breathing or muscle relaxations to reach deep physical rest. And time. Allow plenty of time without rushing. Well, I will tell you about the rules, if those are the rules. Hey, Joe Fox, good to see you, buddy. If those are the rules, first of all, for me, okay, it's real hard for me to find a quiet place. Second, I have ADHD. So my mind just is like going all over the place. And then what's really crazy for me is that some song will just pop into my brain. And I'm hearing that song and not focusing on my deep meditation thing. And the relaxation, I try to get there, but I just can't. But I'm working on that. And time. I don't have no time. People say to me, Sean, you got to make time for yourself. You got to make time to do your meditations. I just don't have time. because usually when I hit my bed, when I go to bed, I'm tired as hell and I fall asleep, you know. But we'll see what happens. Maybe when I retire, then I will be able to do relaxation and mindset and environment. The process rules during projection. Is there a book on astral you suggest? Maybe, you know what, Joe? I do not know of any book out there. I'm sure Kevin might know, or Vet Girl, if there is a book out there. You can also Google it, or go on Barnes and Nobles and see what they have for an astral. And if you can't find any of that, find somebody like a metaphysical shop and talk to them. But the process during projection, okay, mind awake, body asleep. Aim for the hypnagogic state, the edge of sleep where you're aware but deeply relaxed. The vibrational state. Expect intense vibrations or energy surges as a sign of progress. Don't fear them. The vibrational state, I'll read that again. Expect intense vibrations or energy surges as a sign of progress. You don't fear them. Visualization. Imagine floating, rising, or separating from your body, perhaps using techniques like the rope method. Imagining climbing a rope or lifting from your navel. That's crazy. That's crazy one. The intent. Focus your intention on exploring or returning to the physical body. The astral cord. Understand you remain connected by an invisible cord, ensuring your safe return, say many traditions. My question is, if you go out there, what happens if you forgot to, you know, get that invisible cord? Will you come back? That's crazy. But I didn't know none of this when I first started, especially when I got into the spiritual field. I didn't understand this stuff. No one really explained it. All they say is that people go and meditate and they leave their body. I didn't know you had to have an intent. You didn't know that you needed visualization or astral cords or something like that. It's like kind of crazy. Okay, now, once you're separated, okay, the safety and exploration rules. There's a lot of rules here, okay, but they're good ones. Okay, once you're separated, they have safety and exploration rules. Oh, the cord stays attached. Thanks, Kev. Fear. Overcome fear, as it can disrupt the experience or attract unwanted attention. And that is so true. I have a little anagram for fear. F everything and relapse, or face everything and move forward. So I face my fears. But it can, if you have a lot of fear, it's going to be hard to overcome that. Protection. Maintain positive thoughts and intentions for safety. It won't. Oh, okay. Kevin says it won't fall off no matter where you go. Okay, Kev, thanks for telling me that. Maintain positive thoughts when you're out there and intentions for safety. Exploration. Move by thought. The astral realm has different rules than the physical. Well, see, this is all new to me about having these rules. And when you return, Focus on your physical body with the intent to return. You might feel a pull or a jolt. I get the jolt, is what I do. I get the jolt. I don't get a pull, I get a jolt. Now, the key takeaways. Success depends heavily on achieving a specific relaxed state, a trance, and using focused mental techniques, with safety coming from maintaining consciousness control and a positive outlook. Kurt has a question. I have a question. Has anyone ever had the feeling or wondered if anyone was remote viewing them? I heard you can put up blocks, but I don't know too much about any of this. Yeah, you can remote, people can remote other people. Yes, absolutely, no doubt. But when it comes up to put the blocks up, what I do is I surround myself with a, rope, gold rope, and then intertwine it with another rope. So I'm completely covered in gold. And then I will throw a bubble over me through meditation and, different techniques. And Kevin says, ask your guides to come along. Spirit animal or people is like guides. My wolf travels with me. Oh yeah, absolutely. Even when I went out there, Astral. But I'll tell you what happened. We're getting pretty close to the end of the show. But I do want to share this with you. Okay. I was dating this one girl. Okay. And she got weird. She got really weird with me. And so I was on the phone talking to my friend. And my friend told me, your angels are calling you. And I said, no, you're full of crap. And yes, the angels were, because all my blinds in my apartment were going crazy. And that's true. They wanted to get a hold of me and I didn't want to listen. Then they would mess stuff up in my apartment. So I went into a meditation. Okay. I went to a meditation and I got on the back of my wolf, who was Lakota. I'm like, oh, hell, where are we going? Where are we going? I mean, I had all the animals with me. I even had my angels with me. I said, what the hell's going on here? I was like totally confused. This is a true meditation. This is a true out of body. Mine smokes a cigarette, Kevin, and drinks a bottle of gin when my guides deal with me sometimes. But we're out there, and all of a sudden, in front of me, there was a lot of pigs, flying pigs, no lie. And on the back of the big pig was this girl I was dating who was crazy. This is true, a true meditation. And as she's sitting on, and I'm thinking, holy shit, we're going to go to war. And a battle we did. We battled. It was my crew versus her crew. Okay. But I couldn't understand the pig thing. They were all pigs. Um, but what happened was eventually we broke through, all the pigs, and the angels came down and they swept her away. And so I wake up, I come back, come back down. I'm laying on my couch, and all of a sudden my pager went off. That's when pagers were big. And it was from her. And what, then you could tell the message that she sent you. And on the message that she, left on my pager, she said, Sean, what are you doing to me? I was like, whoa. That blew me away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a true, true story. That really happened. When I heard her say, "What are you doing to me?" And I never heard from her ever since. So I thought I'd share that with you. Let's see, we have some people writing down stuff up here. Let's see. Joe Fox is wondering if taking magnesium supplements would help the astral travel due to the relaxation it brings to the body. I guess. I don't know, Joe. I wish I had an answer for you, my friend, but I don't. And that girl says, my God still refuses to let me leave this rock. And Kevin says, true, Kurt, I think I may have been remote viewed if I noticed I have, would push them out and imagine by walls going up once they are out of my space. Kevin says, well, that was freaky. Yeah, it was a freaky situation. And there are so many things that I experienced, you know, that I could write a book. I never shared that story with anybody until tonight. And I shared it with you, my people, my friends, my angels. I fear I could do that. I had no problem talking to you about it. And everybody out there in the 160 different countries that are listening to my show, I might never meet you, but I do appreciate you for tuning in to my show on Sunday night and Tuesday nights. Totally mean that. But we are getting close to the end of the show. We got about 3 minutes. And I hope people got a little knowledge of the origins of Astral and the rules. Thank you, Michelle. You're welcome, Kurt. But there's so much more on this astral projection or the OBEs. Okay, there's so much more. And I know that if I would have learned more about this earlier, when I was younger, then maybe life would be different. Kevin says, great topic. Love those rules you shared. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, they were good rules. And you know what, Vet? When I talk about it, I got committed to psych ward. This is Vet talking, put on pills. So I stopped talking about it till now, but still selective on whom I talk to. I totally agree. And before I close, I have something to say real quick here. If you look back in the 1930s and the 40s, there were a lot of people that were put into mental hospitals because they would tell people they were seeing ghosts, or they were seeing spirits, or they were experiencing something else. And a lot of them just had the gift of seeing, but they were put into mental hospitals and they were given lobotomies and they were given all kinds of pills. So I agree with you that a lot of times I started to talk about it at the beginning, but I quit doing it. Yes, there's a lot of good advice from that. So now I only tell certain people about my experiences, and I will not just go out and broadcast it, because I would be ridiculed to death. And that's the truth. So, I'm lining up some guests for next week, and I'm looking forward to it. So we are at that witching hour. It is about that time. Again, I want to thank everybody who stopped in the chat tonight and shared your experiences, strength, and hope with everybody. I want to thank the people in 160 different countries that are listening to my show. I truly appreciate it. And I truly appreciate UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents and if you have no children, find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, have a safe week and see you next Sunday. Good night.